Imagine yourself as a child living in foster care. You have no family of your own. You have no idea how long you will be in foster care. You only know that you will never be going home, and you wait to be adopted. Maybe for months, maybe for years, maybe you will never have a family. This is the experience of 123,000 children in foster care who are free for adoption and waiting for a family. Now, imagine that the reason most of these children wait is not because no one wants to adopt them, but because of bureaucracy, unintentional barriers that prevent good people from adopting and keep waiting children from having a family. It is true. In fact, there are far more people interested in adopting children from foster care than there are children waiting to be adopted. According to federal data, 600,000 American women are actively trying to adopt a child, and most are open to adopting older children, minorities, children who have experienced trauma. Still, 29,000 children aged out of foster care last year, reaching adulthood with no family and bleak prospects.
We went through the process, the legal process. We took the MAP courses. We had our home scrutinized and our backgrounds and such. All of that, I would say, was the easiest part. The next step was to meet the children, and that's where I think the most difficulty occurred, because we didn't know how to meet the children. We had a really sweet, nice caseworker working with us, but we didn't hear from her. We didn't know how to go out and find these children who you read on billboards and see on TV that there are 300 or however many in Hillsborough County who need to be adopted. I think that if we had not pushed it, specifically me, if I had not been determined to do this, it would have never gone through.
Then I started on the internet. That's how I found my daughters, and I started on the internet looking at pictures, choosing sibling groups. I think everybody almost I picked was also a sibling group of African American girls, primarily. I think the first time, I want to say like 48, I picked 48 sibling groups and got no responses.
The waiting time, again, the not getting the phone calls back, people not knowing the right answers to simple questions. And again, it just got very, very frustrating, and you do become discouraged. So I would say to someone that wanted to adopt, be persistent. If this is what you know you want to do, don't let anyone change your mind, because in the end, it's worth it. It's really worth it.
New research is showing that those very people that step up to the plate to adopt, and not existing foster parents and not family members, but those new faces in a child's life that step up, that are moved to adopt, that see some wonderful awareness campaign and begin the process, are frequently stopped at the door because of a lack of a return of a phone call, or an unrealistic sense of expectations of what this system is all about.
One example of how bureaucracy prevents foster children from being adopted. In 2003, states reported that only 71 foster children in the entire country were adopted across state lines by someone other than a relative. Families in New Jersey are able to adopt more children from China than from New York City's child welfare system. Research at Harvard University estimated that in 1 year, 240,000 Americans called a public agency to learn about adopting a child from foster care. Fewer than 4% actually do.
I was going to give up, but I prayed, and I prayed that someone would actually want to adopt me. So you might not want to give up, because there's families out there that are looking for your children, because maybe they can't have children, or they just want to adopt kids because they like kids.
It may be a while, but soon or someday that someone will come along and that they'll find you and that you'll have a loving home one day.
If you can find the right person for you, someone who would take care of you and someone who love you and always help you out when you need help, then I think you should jump at the chance.
Listening to Parents is an organization that wants to tear down the barriers that prevent good families from adopting children who desperately need a loving home. Working with legislators, advocates, and people who want to adopt, we are creating a movement for change. Be part of this movement. Every child deserves a home. Go to listeningtoparents.org and find out how you can help.